Well, the trial for one of the 6 officers involved in the arrest of Freddie Gray starts today in Baltimore.
Officer Caesar Goodson faces second-degree depraved heart murder charges and several others. He was driving the police van Gray was put in after his arrest in April 2015. An autopsy concluded that Gray was unable to break his fall inside the van during those abrupt turns and stops. Goodson is the second officer to opt for a bench trial, meaning he won't face a jury. CBS News Justice correspondent Paula Reid joins us now. Paula, during opening statements, Judge Barry Williams admonished the prosecution for failing to disclose key information about an interview with a key witness. And the judge then threw out the witness testimony. So how bad is this already looking for the prosecution, and what will this impact be for the defense?
Vlad, the only way this could have been worse for the prosecution is if the judge threw out the case entirely. Let's take stock of what has happened with the prosecution. They're 0 for 2 on convictions. They currently have 5 lawsuits pending against them from the officers in this case. And then today they're admonished from the judge overseeing this critical murder trial for not handing over evidence. Now, the evidence that is at play here is testimony from Dante Allen. He's the man who was in the van with Freddie Gray for a time. He's a critical witness in this case, which makes it all the more shocking that the prosecution told the judge they didn't even take notes when they interviewed him the second time. What's also interesting is that the defense intends to call Mr. Allen as a witness, so they believe whatever he has to say or whatever he'll say on the stand will help their case and exonerate their client.
And Paula, if you're keeping score at home, this is actually the 3rd trial related to the death of Freddie Gray. The trials prior actually ended with no conviction. So if this case ends the same way, what does that mean for the prosecutor who pushed so hard for police officers to be held accountable?
Rena, this is a must-win for Marilyn Mosby and the prosecution. As I said before, being 0 for 2 on convictions. They had a mistrial. They had an acquittal. Now here they need to get a conviction, but it is going to be so difficult to convict on that murder charge. It's rare that you can actually convict a police officer of murder with no eyewitness testimony and no video. So for the prosecution, the stakes could not be higher.
And on the topic of Marilyn Mosby, can you tell us about this law defamation lawsuits filed by several of the officers involved in the arrest? They're actually suing her.
Yes, 5 of the 6 officers charged in this case have filed lawsuits against Marilyn Mosby, the state's attorney in the city of Baltimore, and the sheriff's office, arguing defamation, saying that she filed these charges knowing that they were not actually supported by facts. And these cases in many ways are actually legally even more interesting than the cases against the officers that are working their way through criminal court, because they get into this tricky area. While a lot of people in this country believe that it is too difficult to charge or convict police officers when they are involved in the death of a citizen, there's also this other problem in certain cities that we've seen where prosecutors have moved very quickly to charge people in an effort to sort of quell racial or tension or unrest in a city. And here these officers are arguing that she filed these charges to serve her own political purposes. They were not supported by law, and it will be fascinating to see how that plays out.
Paula Reid, thank you so much, Paula.